This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. Nerves are running high in the chimp nursery as newcomer Bryan is introduced to volatile Seamus.
Seamus, behave yourself.
It's either going to go amazingly well, or I imagine it'll end in tears.
Dinda, the hand-reared baby orangutan, faces a big challenge. She's spending her first night in the orang nursery. And orangutan Amy has a smashing time. Monkey World Rescue Centre was set up 20 years ago by the late Jim Cronin. It's a thriving 65-acre sanctuary in Dorset, giving refuge to abused and neglected primates. Caring for their 160 animals is Park Director Alison Cronin, Animal Manager Jeremy, and a team of dedicated primate care staff.
This park exists for the individual monkeys and apes that need rescuing and what their needs are. And we sort of look at the different groups of monkeys and apes as families, and these are their homes. So as they grow up, we'll grow up with them and evolve.
Since Monkey World began, 185 apes and monkeys have been rescued, giving them a second chance of life with their own kind. New arrival, Bryan, has been living in the chimp nursery with dominant female Sally and youngsters Ben and Pip. But today he's about to face a big challenge. Bryan's going to meet the nursery's naughtiest resident, Seamus.
He's the one sort of we've been wondering about because he's so boisterous, such a little hooligan, and Bryan has those same tendencies, so it's either going to go amazingly well or I imagine it'll end in tears pretty quickly if they both get overexcited.
Chimpanzees are extremely sociable, and alliances are very important to them. Bryan has built up a strong relationship with Sally.
So we made sure that Bryan stayed at least 24 hours with Sally, all on her own, so that they now have a bond.
Sally is the park's resident foster mum. She helped to raise 29 chimps, including Seamus. And the pair are extremely close. So nobody's quite sure if there'll be friction when Bryan arrives.
Of course, Sally and Seamus's bond is stronger, and therefore she might choose Seamus's side if Bryan and Seamus have a dispute. I think she might actually stick with Bryan, though, because I think she's a bit fed up with Seamus and his boisterous activities.
Animal Manager Jeremy is on hand for when Seamus arrives to make sure things run as smoothly as possible. And it's a good job he is. When Seamus makes his entrance, he's his typical rowdy self.
Hey! Seamus, behave. Seamus, behave yourself.
There's an air of excitement in the nursery. This meeting could still go very badly.
Seamus, behave.
Sally's the boss in here, but Jeremy's on hand to calm things down if needed. He can't stop the chimp's unruly behaviour, but he can step in and take Seamus outside if he has to.
Stop it.
Later on, Jeremy needs Sally's help to keep Seamus under control.
Keep on top of this, Sally. Don't let it out your sight.
And over in the orangutan's nursery, Mum Xiao Kuai also has her hands full with the confident young Kai. Monkey World is home to 13 orangutans. The youngest is 9-month-old Dinda. And today, Keeper Mike is moving her development on a stage.
It's your last trip, isn't it? You're going to be a big girl now. You're going to be with all the big boys and girls. No baby, no more.
Mum Roro failed to feed Dinda, so she's been hand-reared by Mike. But she can't stay with humans forever. Mike's hopeful she's ready to move into the orangutan nursery full-time.
You're free. This is your last nappy. So you can go in here. little game. Here we go. Yep. She's been coming down here now for quite a few days. And you see, she doesn't cry now. She's fantastic. She got so used to being moved to different, cages and going different places with different keepers. Put her in there. First couple of days we started bringing her down. She would start to give a little cry. We used to just go outside and sit outside and wait, and with about 3-4 minutes she'd shut up. And as soon as she'd hear you, she'd start crying again. And then it just went quiet after a week or so.
Dinda has been spending her days in the orangutan nursery and going home with Mike. But that's all about to change.
Tonight's her first big night, because she thinks she's going home at 3 o'clock, which is going to be a big shock to her. She will go in here, have her tea, and then she's going to sleep with, at the moment, I think it's going to be Arme and Jolie. And then I'm going to sleep on the floor here with her tonight, and maybe tomorrow, just to make sure nothing untoward happens. And then she can live in the nursery full time. Touch wood, fingers crossed, it should be plain sailing.
Unlike Dinda, 2-year-old Kai has been reared by his mum since birth. He is growing up fast, and over the last year, he's been developing his climbing and swinging skills. Orangutans' feet work like an extra pair of hands. In the wild, this helps them move through the treetops. Kai is slowly getting to grips with the outdoor enclosure. He's bold enough to explore by himself. But being the perfect mum, Xiao Kuai is there to offer a helping hand when he just can't make it on his own. In the wild, young orangutans usually stay with their mothers until they're around 7 years old. They will learn everything from them, including what to eat and how to build nests. Kai's confident and independent. He likes to show off his climbing skills as he explores. Mature, self-sufficient, making his own way in the big, wide world. With Mum a couple of paces behind, just in case. It's a risky business being a baby orangutan, and Xiao Kuai isn't going to take any chances. So, whether it's high up on the tower or lower down on the poles, she follows him on all his adventures. And, in the end, it's pretty clear that even the most intrepid adventurer appreciates having a mum around when they're a bit tired. Back in the chimp nursery, new arrival Bryan is meeting lovable hooligan Seamus, and animal manager Jeremy is on hand as referee.
Just some brain checkers. Don't get bouncy. Fat lump.
The meeting could still go either way. Seamus is still exerting that never-ending energy of his, and Jeremy is still trying to keep the peace. Seamus might be a handful, but Sally's right there to help Jeremy out.
Daughter Sal. Good girl, Sal. Good girl, Sal.
She's spending her time playing with Seamus, but there's a reason for this. Sally's keeping him away from Bryan.
Good girl, Sal. Sort him out. Sort him out. Where's that little boy gone? He's there. It's good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, she. Good boy. Good boy. Let him calm down. It's all a bit much for this little lad. He's doing really well. Seamus is Tigger. He's big and bouncy with little brain, and so he's all over. He's a bit too big and strong, but then Sally's stepping in and policing everything to keep him under control. It's all a bit much for poor little Bryan, isn't it? It's all a lot to take in for a little boy, isn't it? Yeah. It's all very much to take in for a little chap on his early days.
And it's not surprising that Bryan's having a hard time settling. Before coming to Monkey World, Bryan had a tragic start in life. He was stolen from the wild in West Africa and was smuggled to Mexico, where he was being trained as a beach photographer's prop. But he had a lucky escape. He was confiscated by the Mexican authorities and handed over to Jim and Alison. This is Bryan's first week living at Monkey World.
You know, he's only a little lad. He's only a very young boy, and he's had, you know, quite a horrendous, well, incredibly horrendous week. He's moved home. He's flown halfway around the world. He's met a whole new load of people. I mean, he was, you know, everybody in his life now he's never seen before, so he's got to make friends. He's got to, you know, everything's... I'm going to keep on, I don't care. I'm going to keep on with this interview because I'm just so professional. Everything is just totally new to him. So, I mean, he's only a little lad. Of course he's going to be a bit shell-shocked, and every now and again he goes into this sort of shut-off mode, and then he sort of gets his brain together, and then he's back on form again.
Bryan is a sociable chimp, which is helping his integration. But with a rogue like Seamus to contend with, Bryan definitely needs to look out for himself.
Hey, Seamus, come here. Sit down. Sit down with me and be calm. Yeah, come on, sit down, calm. Calm. Sit down. Oh, no, sorry, I'm trying to keep him calm. I just said how good you are at this. Right, sit here and behave.
The nursery can be a chaotic place, and Jeremy certainly has his hands full.
And calm, and relax. Deep breath and relax. You're not listening, are you?
In Monkey World's chimp nursery, it's been 2 hours since new boy Bryan was introduced to hooligan Seamus. And finally, an air of calm has descended on the group.
Just relax. Seamus, relax. Not the bum in the face. We don't do bums in faces, particularly your farty bottom. Everybody's made it clear to Seamus that if he touches Bryan, that he's in big trouble. And I think the tiny bit of brain cell that Seamus has got has just dawned on him.
3-year-old Bryan is understandably wary of Seamus, but he's brave enough to join him in a play session.
Seamus?
Seamus is at last calming down, and the chimps seem to be getting along.
Very nicely, Seamus. Good boy.
This is the breakthrough that Jeremy has been waiting for. Seamus starts to groom Bryan.
Of course, all this grooming is a really, really important thing to these chaps. It's how they speak. And it's quite simple. You know, if you are grooming somebody, you come in peace. You're not being aggressive. You're not being, you know, you only want peace, peaceful communication rather than aggressive. And it really is that simple. Now, clearly, it is an instinctive thing because young Bryan here won't have learnt much, in so much as he's had very little chimpanzee socialising in his life. Of course, with Sally here, he's got a really good teacher, you know, because she's so patient with him. She's so, you know, she doesn't lose it with him. She doesn't get angry with him. She's, you know, she's very consistent with him. I really don't think this could have gone any better today. You know, it really is, it's all good. I mean, look at him now. I mean, an hour ago he was very cautious of Seamus and, you know, he was okay, but he's cautious. Now, in the last few minutes, he's actually instigated contact with Seamus and playing with Seamus, and it's all, you know, it's all coming together really nicely.
Back in the orangutan nursery, baby Dinda is moving in full-time. And keeper Mike is moving in too.
This is just for one night.
As this is Dinda's first overnight with orangutans, Mike's sleeping alongside her. But these days, he's not into roughing it.
But sometimes I've had just a sort of blow-up mattress which goes on the floor. But I thought for the next 2 nights, I'm a little bit older than the last time I did this, I thought for the next 2 nights I'll have a little bit of luxury. Be the first night that she's actually spent with an orangutan rather than a human being for company. So it's a very big night for her. I will be here on the bed here in case anything goes wrong, but I don't think anything will. I think it's going to be a straightforward night. She may wake up during the night and just wonder where she is. Any problems, I'm here, and Jeremy's at the other end of the radio as well. So it's a very important step for her tonight. This is another move on. And it also means, hopefully, that the keepers and myself won't have to sort of sit with her at night time. She's got a nice big cage here and bedrooms that she can climb around in, so she's going to be moving around a lot more. She's going to develop, she's going to work up her appetite more. She's going to grow quicker as well and interact with what she should be interacting with, and that's orangutans. It's a great relief, though, when they do sort of leave home, as it were, and end up being part of the orangutan colony here at Monkey World. And I'll be redundant. That'll be fantastic.
But Dinda's not going to be the youngest orang in Monkey World for long. Soon there's news of another baby in need of a new home. Monkey World is committed to keeping all their animals busy and occupied. And that's just what animal manager Jeremy is doing for the orangutans. In the wild, most of an orangutan's food grows in the treetops, and they have little reason to come to the ground. So Jeremy's hanging up giant fruit ice lollies to refresh them on this hot day. Just like us, an orang's primary sense is sight. And both Roro and Lucky have spotted their prizes. But Lucky's not having much luck. Others want to steal her prize. Leading the way is Amy. She's higher up the group pecking order, so Lucky knows it's best just to let her steal the ice. Amy doesn't share. She is stubborn and not to be messed with. In captivity, orangutans, like most primates, have a hierarchy. At the bottom is Xiao Lan. This means she's going to have to patiently wait her turn. Amy loves her food, and not even 21-year-old male Tuan is going to come between her and her giant ice lolly. Tuan may be bigger and stronger than Amy, but he's smart enough just to sit and watch and wait. Amy is particularly clever, and she's worked out a way of getting to enjoy the ice quicker. But the platform isn't strong enough to crack the prize. When she gives up, Tuan's patience has paid off. He's right there, ready to take over. But even his powerful jaw can't break through. Amy, though, hasn't given up at all. She's just found another ice lolly that looks easier to smash. And this time, she cracks it. Smashed to pieces, she can finally indulge. But the big male Tuan has been keeping his eye on Amy, and now he's determined to get his share. Full speed ahead. It's obvious he's not going to give up, so Amy cleverly smashes her share and gives him some. She might be selfish, but she's not stupid. Half a lolly is better than no lolly at all. Amy and her troop live in one of 3 orangutan groups at the park. Next door to her is the unique Orang crèche. 3 youngsters from different backgrounds live here. They're looked after by a foster mum, 13-year-old May. 3 years ago, Monkey World became the European crèche for orphaned orangutan babies needing a new home.
Any babies that are born within the captive population throughout Europe, if their mothers don't care for them properly and they can't be integrated back into a group of orangutans, they will be sent to Monkey World to join Ame and all of our guys over there.
And it looks like Ame's soon going to have another baby to look after.
Got a phone call in an email last week, and it turns out that there is I believe she's coming up to be about 2 years old now, female Bornean orangutan who was orphaned at birth, and they haven't been successful putting her back in the group in Paris. This is the old menagerie zoo in Paris, and their baby orangutan, Lingga, will be coming to join Aris, Jolie, Xiaoning, and Ame now in our nursery group, so it's becoming quite a little international set.
Rescuing primates or giving them a home when needed is a crucial part of Monkey World's work. Linger will be the 186th primate to join the park. And it's animal manager Jeremy who's made the journey to Paris to collect her. He'll need to spend time getting to know Linger. It's important she has someone she feels comfortable with to help her to settle into her new life.
This must be Linger. She's the only one that's the right sort of size and age. Certainly looks in good shape. Right, well, let's go and say hello to her then.
And next time, Jeremy gets more than he bargained for. Linger has him under attack.
No, not the aerial assault, no!
In Paddy's chimp group, all hell breaks out. Over a big fruit lolly. And Alison says her goodbyes to Julio, the woolly monkey she hand-reared from birth.
Job well done, I guess, because he's quite a nice little lad. Even though you do suck your thumb still. I know.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, animal manager Jeremy is under attack.
Not the aerial assault, no!
He's in Paris collecting Linger, an orphaned orangutan who needs to be with her own kind.
You have got too much energy and you're too ugly and we don't want you. We've changed our minds, you're not coming out with us.
In Paddy's chimp group, all hell breaks loose over a big fruity freeze. And Alison says her goodbyes to Julio, the woolly monkey she hand-reared from birth.
We'll see you later. You be good. You be good.
Over the past 21 years, Monkey World has rescued and rehabilitated 185 primates. 10 of these have been orangutans. Today, animal manager Jeremy is in Paris to meet number 11. Baby female orangutan Linger at the Ménagerie du Jardin des Plantes. Linger was rejected by her mum at birth and raised by the keepers. They were unable to integrate her with the zoo's older orangs, and now everybody hopes she'll find a home in Monkey World's orangutan crèche. Jeremy's first job of the day is to introduce himself to Linger.
On the premise that the best way to an animal's heart is through his stomach, like a man, this is going to be the way of getting to know Linger, and Linger getting to know me if I feed her, which is all good. Hello, Rabbeg. I've got your tea here. Goodness me, what do you fancy? Eh? Is that good? Is that what you wanted? We're reading between the lines a little bit. She's obviously a professional eater. But we can use that to our advantage. What? What are you doing? What are you like? You're not exactly shy, are you? Are you good? You're a very pretty little girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. It's good to see that she is obviously quite precocious, quite forward, not shy, not intimidated. It's just nice that she's been brought up that way. And also she can see the other orangs next door to her. So clearly she knows what an orang is, and she probably knows she is one.
All primates have different personalities, and getting to know them can be a challenge. 2 years ago, Monkey World head keeper Lee collected baby Aris from Germany. Aris was brought up with gorillas, and Lee found a confident and outgoing orang waiting for him. Last year, keeper Mike brought Jolie back from Moscow Zoo, but she was very shy, and it took him several days to gain her trust.
Have you packed your bags yet?
Later, we see how Linger reacts when Jeremy takes the next step and goes into her enclosure. And at Monkey World, Alison gives last goodbyes to the woolly monkey she hand-reared from birth. Monkey World Ape Rescue Centre is home to 59 chimps, the largest natural living collection outside Africa. All the chimpanzees have been successfully grouped into troops. The largest is Paddy's family of 19. Chimps are intelligent and inquisitive. The park staff work hard to keep them occupied, and today they're providing an unusual challenge, a giant ice lolly. And here's Paddy, the head of the troop and the first on the scene. The giant lolly is the perfect way to cool down on a hot summer's day. By providing them with just one treat, the keepers hope the troop will work together as a team. This should keep them occupied for hours. But 27-year-old Clin has other ideas. She wants the ice to herself, but the troop isn't going to let her get away with that. The ice is filled with different fruits, and smart Cindy has found a stick to dislodge the tasty bits. In the wild, chimps use a variety of tools to help them extract food, including twigs and straw blades to help search for termites and stones to crack open nuts. Back at the park, Clin's not happy at having to share, and chimps being chimps, it's not long before a scuffle breaks out. And there goes Clin with the ice again. Clin had a traumatic start in life. She was a laboratory chimp, which meant restricted meals. Now she hoards her food. The group are happy to let her do this at mealtimes, but with just one treat on offer, no chance. And later, Clin's not the only one having trouble sharing. Little Eddie really wants this fruit lolly, but will she be able to keep it to herself? The chimpanzees are one of 15 different species living at the park. These include lemurs, gibbons, capuchins, and woolly monkeys. Julio is the youngest of the woolly monkeys. Park director Alison is very close to him.
He's just a superstar. He loves playing with, pushing out of the way, grabbing food from whether it's the dominant male, any of the dominant females. He still likes seeing the old girl Susie. And he's just a playful, lovely little lad that they all love.
Julio's mum, Kuna, rejected him at birth. For his own safety, he had to be taken away.
Get in there, hey! Is the baby okay, Alison?
I believe so. We've got toes, fingers. I don't see any blood.
Alison took on the mighty challenge of bringing him up. He's only the second woolly monkey in the world to survive being hand-reared.
Good girl.
As he grew up, he began to interact with other woolly monkeys. And now, Julio is 18 months old and looking good.
For me, I mean, I'm just really pleased, but this is probably going to be one of the very last times that I'm able to sort of come in and see Julio and give him a little bit of a hug and a check as much as I am right now, because he's growing up, and this was our goal in the first instance, was to get him back into the family group of woolly monkeys and fully functioning so that he can have his own family one day. And, you know, job well done, I guess, because he's quite a nice little lad, even though you do suck your thumb still. I know.
But as Julio enters adolescence, he's changing.
His head's gonna change a lot. So over his eyebrow ridge, like LeVar, the dominant male, he'll get much broader on the head. His shoulders will fill out. The base of his tail will become much thickened. Also, of course, the huge canines that just make what is a very excitable, high-strung, temperamental species downright dangerous as they become fully matured and fully armed.
The woolly monkeys are part of a global endangered species breeding program, and every new baby is important. So the whole team are excited that Julio's mum, Kuna, is pregnant again, but they're also worried. She might reject the new baby just as she did Julio.
What we want is for the baby to grow up with its mother, with Kuna. So we're hoping that she's grown up a bit more and that she'll do a better job than she did with Julio the first time around. So hopeful, but wary.
Back in Paris, baby orangutan Linger is meeting animal manager Jeremy, and he's gone into her enclosure.
She's better when I'm sat on the floor.
Jeremy sits down in an attempt to make Linger feel more comfortable.
You coming over here? Hello.
But the food is much more attractive than Jeremy.
Okay. Of course, she's got to learn a whole new routine of living with other animals. She's got to learn to share. But the way she knocks back her food in 2 minutes, not having any competition, would suggest that that won't be too hard. Orangs are not renowned for being overly active, but she's a very active young lady. Probably make her more of a nightmare to look after because she's always into things that she shouldn't be. But that's all okay.
So far, Jeremy and Linger have got along well, but he's kept his distance. Gaining an orang's trust comes in stages. Will she let him make physical contact?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you bad? You a bad girl? You a bad influence? I suspect so. I suspect you'd be a real bad influence on our people. I don't know why we should inflict you on them. If you don't get pushy, you know, she's now offering herself for a tickle here, so I'm taking up the offer and it's all good. You know, whereas if you wade in gung-ho to start with, it'll only go badly. Whereas if she's just come and been quite comfortable in my presence, now she thinks that's fun. And I know some of these places which makes orangs fall apart when you touch them. There's one. Tickle around there, tickle around there.
Coming up, Jeremy gets more than he bargained for.
You don't know any other games, do you? All you know is fighting silly games.
The orangutans get some exercise climbing for melons, and Eddie becomes the most popular chimp in Paddy's group, at least while her ice lolly lasts. In Paris, Monkey World animal manager Jeremy is getting to know baby orangutan Linger. She's being transferred to Monkey World's orangutan crèche, and she's much livelier than Jeremy expected.
Not the aerial assault, no, no. That is not fair. It's just not fair.
Linger is very taken with Jeremy and loves their play session.
Change my mind, you're not coming home with me anymore.
And she can give as good as she gets.
I'm getting bored with this game. You don't know any other games, do you? All you know is fighting silly games. You have got too much energy and you're too ugly and we don't want you. We've changed our minds, you're not coming home with us. You're just a roughy, tufty, horrible, smelly, rotten monkey. Changed my mind, she's too rough, we're gonna leave her. She's too horrible. See you later, when I've cancelled your ticket. Yes.
Jeremy's happy. They're going to transfer Linger to Monkey World in the morning.
Yeah, just spent half, three-quarters of an hour with Linger and had the living daylights knocked out of me. But it's really good that she's not focused like an animal that's been hand-reared by, say, one person with no proximity to others of their species, because she's, you know, she's very outgoing, she's very forward, and a hand-reared animal will really focus on one person and get sort of imprinted, and she's not like that at all. They've really brought her up well with many people being involved, so she doesn't get too fixed on one person. So I'm really happy, and I'm sure it'll be a lot nicer for her, the whole move, you know, for a new life at Monkey World. 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll start the journey home. I want to make a good early start tomorrow, much to the horror of the local people who are going to help me put her in the van. But then, you know, the earlier we can leave here, then the earlier we'll get back to Monkey World and more of the day she has to settle in.
Linger's keepers will join her on the trip. This will make her feel more secure, and they can see that she settles well. They've looked after her for 2 years, but they know it's the best thing for her.
Lingga a été élevée à la main, par nos soins, et c'est devenu une petite guenon tout à fait indépendante, très joueuse, très active, prête à intégrer un nouveau groupe le plus tôt possible. Donc on est tous évidemment très tristes de la voir partir, mais très optimistes quant à son futur avenir au Monkey World avec ses petits congénères.
Later, how will Linger cope with the early start as she begins her journey to Monkey World?
Twist her arm, you know, OK, I'll have an early breakfast. As long as I don't have to get out of bed.
And can little Eddie still get whatever she wants from her dad, Paddy? Eventually, Linger will join the park's 13 orangutans that are split into 3 groups. One of these is headed by male Tuan. He's lucky enough to have 4 girls in his group. Today they're having a treat, sweet-tasting melons. Amy loves her food. And she'll stop at nothing to get it. Xiaolan ranks below her in the pecking order and is smart enough to give up her prize. In captivity, female orangutans develop a hierarchy relating to age and size. Amy takes full advantage of her top position. In the wild, orangs forage for leaves and fruit in the forest canopy, so the keepers have placed the melons high up to encourage them to replicate their natural feeding behaviour. "21-year-old Tuan wants some melon. Unfortunately for Roro, he wants her melon. But she's not handing it over without a fight. Orangutans naturally move slowly, but for them, this is a full-on punch-up. Roro's only half Tuan's size, so there's only ever going to be one winner. In the wild, orangutans spend much of their day feeding, and fruit makes up about 60% of their diet. After making her way through nearly 2 whole watermelons, even Amy's full. So Roro finally gets a melon to herself. But she's going to have to be quick. Tuan's back again. Poor Roro knows she's no match for him, and she backs off. Again. On the other side of the park, Paddy's troop are enjoying their giant ice lolly. But like the orangs, the chimps aren't always good at sharing. Youngster Eddie hasn't had any of the lolly. And prankster Gamba decides Eddie's just one mouth too many. Drastic measures are called for, and after eyeing up her options, it's Dad Paddy she targets. She may well be the boss's daughter, but she can't always get her own way. As a baby, it was a different story. She could have whatever she liked from her dad and stopped at nothing to get it. Today, Eddie's struggling to get her hands on any of the treat, but she's not about to give up. And finally, her persistence pays off. But she's about to get a taste of her own medicine. Suddenly, she's the most popular chimp in the park. It's 4 o'clock in the morning in Paris, and Jeremy is getting Lingga ready for her journey to Britain.
Right. There we go, a bit warmer. Having an early breakfast, so she doesn't seem to object to too much. Twist her arm, you know, OK, I'll have an early breakfast. As long as I don't have to get out of bed. Of course, the sooner we set off, the sooner we get home, the sooner we can settle her in back at Monkey World. It's quite a long day we've got in front of us.
Jeremy arrived in Paris less than 24 hours ago, but he and Lingga formed an instant bond.
Very pretty little girl, aren't you? Yes, you are.
After an early breakfast, it's time for the team to get moving.
Right, we'll go now, yeah? The sooner we go, the better, and then she can start settling down.
And her keepers are travelling with her to make her trip as comfortable as possible. Britain is 10 hours away, but when she finally arrives in Monkey World, Lingga will be in safe hands. Monkey World is the European crèche for orphaned orangutan babies. It's currently home to 4 toddlers cared for by foster mum Ame. Everybody hopes that Lingga's outgoing nature will help her settle in around the likes of Aris and the gang. Next time, little Lingga's confidence deserts her as she takes her first steps on British soil.
Come on then. Let's go. Come on, Lingga. Good girl.
An operation on Chimp Bryan's teeth reveals the damage caused from his traumatic past life.
That looks like dead old tooth to me. It's the wrong colour, which indicates it's probably dead. It's moving, which it shouldn't do. It has to go. So I may as well get on with it while the X-ray is being developed.
And stump-tailed macaque Coco gets a helping hand.
It's quite simple, really. You know, why walk when you can have a ride?